So, as part of the yesterday's session, we have seen some examples on the inheritance concept and an overview on a package and how this package is going to work, all those things, all right? So what exactly a package is, how this package is going to work, and other details. And now, what we need to deal is access modifiers. As part of the today's session, we will start with an access modifiers first. So what exactly this access modifiers are? Why are we using these access modifiers, a concept in Java? Okay, so what is the significance of these access modifiers and why are we using these modifiers? So the ultimate objective of these access modifiers is to set the level of access basically. Okay, if at all I'm using a particular method, in which package it should be accessed. If at all I'm using a particular variable, in which classes it should be able to access. Okay, the level of access will be set by this particular access modifiers. These are the keywords that we have in Java by which we can set the level of access for a class, methods, variables, and as well as a constructor. As of now, we don't know anything about a constructor. That's fine. Moving ahead, we will discuss about this constructor. But the ultimate point out over here is access modifiers are the keywords basically using which you can set the level of access. So it means assume that I have defined a variable in a particular class. Okay, so in which other classes I can use this particular variable? Can I use that particular variable within a same class, within a same package, within the project? All these information will be controlled by these access modifiers itself. And in Java, there are 4 different access modifiers are there: public, private, protected, and a default. This default, we can also call it as a no access modifiers. Okay, that's fine. So what exactly a public is? If we define something as a public, whether it is a method or it is a variable, okay, so that public information can be accessed within the same class, within the same package, and even on a different package within the project itself. So if we define something as a public, that information can be accessed within the entire project. That's what the ultimate objective is. That information can be accessed within the entire project itself. Okay, so how are we going to deal with this particular project and other details? We'll see with an example now. So far, whatever the methods we have created, each and every method itself is a public method, guys. So if you remember, all the methods that we have created so far, everything is a public itself. The information that we have created is a public method. Public void login, public void logout, public void delete, public int delete something. We have created each and every info as a public. So what I'm going to do right now means in the new package, okay, so here we have a demo 1 and a demo 2 classes, right? Maybe in the demo 1 class, let me define some information. So the class name, let me make it a more unique way. So what I'm going to do now means login or reusable logics. Okay, so this class I named it as a reusable logics. I just changed it and Java is prompting me to rename the class. So I just renamed this class. And here I'm defining public void login. It's fine. System.out.println login. Okay, public void logout system.out.println logout. Okay, so we just created a login and as well as a logout under the reusable methods. See here, guys, we have a demo2 class within the same package and assume that we have a main method here too. So I have a main method here too. And now if I want to use the information present in one class and in another class, the only way that I know is basically creating an object to the class. Obj is equal to new. That's it. And using this obj instance, I can call my desired methods. So if you observe, this is what the concept that we have already studied. But if you clearly observe, guys, the information that I have defined is a public. That's the reason I was able to access that public information within the same package. That's the first thing. Okay, the public information can be accessed within the same package. And now what I'm doing means in the scripts one package, so I assume that you have another class, right? So here also, let us try to call this information. Okay, so let us try to call this information. Okay, and now what we need to do is here, instead of a demo one, logic calling. Okay, so earlier is a reusable logics and here we are calling these logics. So what I am doing right now in this situation, have a main method and my requirement is whatever the logic you have defined in these reusable scripts, even I want to call that particular logic. Okay, I just want to call that particular logic, guys. So here my requirement is I have defined my information in another package in a different class. I want to use that information in this package. So these two packages are completely different. Okay, so here what we need to do is, okay, so in this situation, as usual, I'm creating an object. Reusable logics space obj is equal to new reusable logics. Okay, so this way I didn't change it, guys. So the way how I am creating an object, it remains one and the same. I didn't change this object creation. But see here, we are getting an error message here. Okay, we are getting an error message here. If you mouse over on these reusable logics, it's stating that, buddy, I recognize that these reusable logics. I'm giving you 6 different fixes for you. The first fix is import these reusable logics from script 2. Okay, import these reusable logics from the script 2. So what does it mean? Means Eclipse editor is saying that I have recognized this class in this particular package. But if you want to use an information from another package, you need to use an import statement. Okay, you need to use an import statement. That's what the ultimate point here is. Import reusable logics. So I have defined this particular information. Gets. Okay. And so here, the next point is import. I'm just choosing this one. This import statement will be added just below the package name. So what does this import will do means usually to any Java program, if at all any import statement is there means we are importing the information from that particular package. So import package name dot class name. This is the way how we can import it. Or the other way how we can use is import package name dot star. So wherever you marked it as a star, automatically the complete information will be imported here. Okay, the complete information will be imported here. That's it. Okay, good enough. Done the deal. So either of these ways we can use an import statement. So the ultimate point here is, guys, one thumb rule that we need to consider. If we have an info in one package, and if we want to use that info in another package, then definitely we need to use import statement. Okay, definitely we need to use this import statement, guys, which is a mandatory thing for us. Okay, you guys must import this statement, then only you can handle this stuff. Okay, good. Any questions for me on this, guys? Everyone?
No.
Okay, good enough. Done the deal. And then the next point here is, as we are importing this information, so as it is public, we were able to import this information irrespective of your packages. That's what the ultimate point you guys need to consider. Okay, as this is a public information, that's the reason we were able to import this information irrespective of these packages. That's it. Perfect. Done the deal. Done up to here. This is all about a public, guys. If you have a public information, we can easily access that information irrespective of the packages. Perfect. Done. This is all about a public access modifier. We have a scene with an example. Now the next one is a private. So private methods or variables can be accessed only from the same class. If you have defined something as a private, that information can be accessed only in the same class. You can't access it outside that particular class. We can't access that information from other classes or subclasses or even of a same package. Even the private information can't be accessed outside that package also. If you define something as a private, the scope will be within that class itself. So here, assume that what I'm doing means I'm just creating a new class, demo3, and let me add a main method here, guys. Okay, demo3 with a main method. So here we have a class and we have a main method here. In this particular class, guys, there's a main method is just a kind of a method. And in parallel with this main method, we can add any kind of a logic with whichever we want. In parallel with the main method, I can create a variables. I can add methods. I can add a constructors also. I can define any of these things in parallel with the main method. So in parallel means the main method is starting from line number 10 and line number 13. Other than that, on top of it, if at all you are writing, which will be declared as a parallel stuff. Okay, you can define a variables, methods, and a constructors. So what I'm doing right now means private void delete. See here, guys, I have created a method which is a delete here. And this method is of a private. And if you clearly observe, this class contains one private method. And of course, this class contains one main method too. This class contains both the private and as well as a main method also, guys. Okay, in this situation, how we need to deal with it? So here I have specified that my class contains a private method. That's fine. As the objective of the private is it can be accessed only in the same class, then how exactly I can call this a private method defined in a demo3 inside a main method? See, one thumb rule is no matter if at all you want to access the information present in the same class, still you need to create an object to the class. So demo3 space obj is equal to new demo3. This is the only way how exactly you can access the information, though it is there in a same class also. I created an object, and people may ask some kind of a questions like, don't we have any other options without creating an object? As of course, we do have those options that we are going to study as part of our today's session itself. But for now, consider that your private method is in this class and your main method is on the same class. And if you want to access this information, the only way is you just need to create an object. So obj dot, I can access that a delete method here. So guys, if you clearly observe, this delete method is there in this demo3 class, and I am calling the same method in this demo3 class itself. When I run my test script as a Java application, of course, it was able to execute the demo3 and it's able to print that information successfully, right? The private method can be accessed within the same class. Now, what I need to do means whether we can access this private method defined in a demo3 in another class or not. So demo2 is the class in which I want to access the demo3 methods. The only way that I can do is create an object to the class which has methods. So here demo3 space obj1 is equal to new demo3. I created an object for this guys. So demo3 space obj1 is equal to new demo3. I have created an object. obj1 dot. See here guys, I was unable to get any of those methods here. So let me type delete directly. Whenever I type the delete directly, here we are getting an error message. And if you mouse over on that particular error message, it is stating that, so delete is not visible. The method delete that you are using is not visible. So it means I am unable to see that delete method. The quick fix for this one is go ahead and change the visibility of this particular delete. Okay, go ahead and change the visibility of that particular delete method. That's it. That's what the ultimate point which we need to consider. Okay, good enough. So here we can't access this delete outside of that particular class, even it is in a single package or even it is in a same package. Okay, even it is in a same package, we can't access this information. Perfect. And then the next thing is, let us try to access this private information in a different package too. So here, and the calling basically, demo3 space obj1 is equal to new demo3. That's fine. And here guys, basically it's not asking me to import this demo3. The reason is the fourth statement, whatever we have given, scripts dot star, which we are considering it as whatever the content is there in that particular package, the complete information can be accessed. Okay, the complete information can be accessed with respect to this package. Okay, good. Done the deal. And then, okay, and then the next point that we need to consider here is, let us try to access the private method. obj1 dot. So I'm calling that a delete method here. And this delete is, okay, you get this delete and it's not working basically. Okay, perfect. Done the deal. Done the deal. And then, okay, so it means this delete is not accessible outside of this particular package. Okay, outside of this particular package too, we can't access this. Perfect. So the ultimate point out over here is private can be accessed only in the same class. Perfect. Done the deal. And then let's switch to the document again and let's keep this protected now and let's keep these, let's see this no access modifier. Okay, so here the point that we need to see is default. When we need to mention, okay, if at all you are not mentioning any access modifiers, we call it as a default access modifiers. Okay, if at all we are not mentioning any access modifiers, then we can treat this access modifier as an default access modifier. So what is the scope of that default access modifier? This default access modifier is restricted to a package level itself. The ultimate objective of this default is it's just restricted to that particular package itself. If you are writing something without any access modifier, then that info will be there within the same package itself. You can't access it outside of that particular package. Okay, if you have a class with the default access modifiers, only those classes are in the package and they can be accessed within the same package itself. Outside that, you can't access that information. Perfect. So let us create this default method and let us see this logic. So here the reusable logics are there. So what I'm doing right now means in the reusable logics, void, I'm doing edit. Okay, so I'm just specifying a void and as well as an edit. So void edit is the method that we have created and we don't have any access modifiers like a public, a private and all those things which can be considered as a default access modifier. And I'm just specifying it here. Okay, I'm just specifying that logic. Perfect. So I know that if something is defined as a default, it can be accessed within the same package itself. So here demo2. So obj dot edit. I was able to access this information without having any issues. As demo2 and the reusable logics both are in a scripts2 package itself. Even this information got printed down to the console too. Okay, even this information got printed down to the console too. Perfect. So the ultimate point out over here is, so if you define something as a default, that can be accessed within the package. Let me try to access this information outside that package. See here, logic calling. We have a scripts1 package. And here in this, what I'm doing right now means obj dot, okay, obj dot, let us try to call that particular edit. See here, edit is not at all working here, guys. So the ultimate point that we need to consider is if something should be accessed within the entire project, irrespective of the packages, we need to define that information as a public itself. If you define something as a public, then only that information can be accessed in the entire project. That's what the ultimate objective is. Any questions for me on this, guys? You are good so far. Is this point clear for you all so far? What is a public, what is a private, and what is a default, all these things? So we haven't studied anything about a protected. We'll see it in next a few minutes. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Okay, perfect. So here, if you see this is a tabular comparison, whatever the things we have discussed right now, the whole information is documented as part of this tabular format for our comparison and for our easy readability. Okay, done the deal, guys. So this is a simple point about the other three axis modifiers. So let us rejoin the session and let us continue this stuff.